Hello and greetings from Malta. I'm here for the survival guide, the Projector survival guide, especially for the holiday season. It's such an intensive time from a social point of view and just energetically and with family, and it's probably the time of year where we're subject to the deepest layers of conditioning. So it's a really powerful time to have a little bit of a toolkit to make sure that you've got some really practical aspects to lean back on as you're navigating all of the demands that this season actually requires of us, particularly as projectors. Projectors are here for humans. We love humans. We love watching people, learning from people, deeply observing you. We can see deeply into the other, but that does take from us. It takes from us our focus and our ability to really make sure that we're using our energy in effective ways, because as projectors, the key point, the little underwritten part of this contract is we must be recognized and invited. Every generator wants to be seen by a projector. It's like a drug. Generators love learning about themselves and really being seen and plugged into with a projector. So as projectors, we have to take the responsibility and make sure that we are actually receiving the invitation first. So I'm going to keep this as practical as I can, and the basis of this transmission is really just to focus on energetics. It's as simple as energy in, energy out, inputs and outputs. This is particularly important for projectors because we have a very porous aura, an absorbing aura. Our vehicle is very open and vulnerable. And the benefit to that is we're able to take in a lot. So we're taking in a lot of information that other types aren't able to take in. We have to be discerning about what of that information is polluting our system and polluting our instrument and weighing it down, what information is actually of value, and discerning between those two things quite clearly, and regularly detoxing, discharging, cleansing our system so that we're actually able to be that absorptive container that is of value for people and not weighing ourselves down. So in the context of Christmas and the holidays, and in every aspect, anytime, I'm going to say this really clearly, anytime a projector is in aura with another human being, we are doing work. So this idea that projectors are not here to work, projectors, you need to rethink that every time I'm with another human, whether I'm really choosing it or not, I can be all calibrated and all in alignment, but I am discharging energy into that other. And is this the correct other? Is this the correct circumstance to be doing that in? The other aspect to this is, if you're not one-on-one and you are in a group, that is going to multiply the drainage of your energy, because we are here to be focused and penetrative. That means that we are really designed to see deeply into the other, particularly into their G center, one human at a time. So every time we're standing in a group, we get massive energy leak. We feel very, very scattered, and we often don't recognize that until we step out of the group. But the people in the group will see it. If there is a group of generators with a projector, every time the projector moves their focus, the generator is going to feel a little bitter. The generator is going to feel a little bit unseen, and then the projector might feel that bitterness and that lack of recognition. So in these social circumstances, as much as you can, try and be in one-on-one interactions. Give them your beautiful projector energy in a really concentrated form, one-on-one, which is how it's designed to be received. Choose the people that you're getting in those cozy corners with. Try and disengage yourself from interactions in big group dynamics because it's just going to drain you and you won't necessarily be of value there. If you're in a group dynamic having a juicy discussion, hold off saying what you think. And if there's something you particularly want to share, something you've really seen and recognized, take one person aside that you really resonated with, take them aside and say, hey, you know that conversation that we were in earlier, I just really wanted to share this with you, or I really wanted to acknowledge the opinion that you gave. Or this is how projectors can get that nourishment of going deep with somebody, but not getting drained in the group dynamic. So when we're talking inputs and outputs and being in aura with someone, we're kind of talking about a 2-meter radius. So get really discerning in the places and spaces that you're in. Check in with who you're sitting next to for Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner. Are they going to drain you, or are they going to be nice harmonizing forces that are going to help you get through that meal? A 2-meter distance, you're really starting to enmesh auras, meaning that anything that you have open in your body graph, they are going to potentially be amplifying. So anywhere that you've got your openness is where you're getting conditioned. So you don't have to check someone's chart before you sit next to them at lunch. It's just something to be aware of. Trust your intuition. Trust your vehicle guiding you to the right people that feel nourishing for you and don't feel draining. With that said, let's talk about lunch. What are we inputting? Now, dietary aspects within the human design system are a whole specialty area within themselves, and it's an area that I work in, the primary health system. It's fascinating, it's juicy, it's very disruptive for all the dietary advice that we are very conditioned and homogenized by right now. So let's put the food aside, but just basic principles. If you have a projector instrument, these are very, very delicate, sensitive instruments. So think about the way that food and alcohol and different substances can impact this instrument. So in particular, alcohol. Is that going to serve you in large volumes? It might make you feel more of a social butterfly, but then you're going to pay for that later, because it means that you numbed out your discernment of where you're giving energy, where you're being drained. You really dulled that down with the alcohol, and then the hangover, literally the energetic hangover afterwards, is going to be much, much bigger for you. So be very moderate with your alcohol, because I'm not going to say don't drink alcohol. I go through this journey myself off and on as a projector, and due to smaller nuances within my chart, which is so important because projector is just an aura type, when you dive into the deeper nuances of your chart, for me, I am really resonant with experiential aspects. So things that really make me feel and be in an experience fully. And so the taste of wine with food really amplifies my appreciation of that experience, for example. So there's no hard and fast rules here. All of this is basic overarching principles that projectors can bring in, particularly to this amazing experiment of the holiday season. It really is a time where we can do a concentrated boot camp on the do's and don'ts of managing your projector energy. So what else can we speak to here? Let's talk about the sacral center. As a projector, your sacral center is undefined. Now, all of us are very used to subconsciously being in sacral energy all of the time. What we don't necessarily understand is that that sacral energy is borrowed. So you might think, oh, but I love being social and I get so much energy from that. It's borrowed. Just be careful. Absolutely be in it. Be enmeshed in it. Enjoy it. Use that energy while it's there. But just in the back of your mind, know that when you are removed from those sacral beings and you're back in your own aura afterwards, you're going to need a serious nap. You're going to be really drained. And that is just the payoff. And that's why our discernment is key. Be really discerning of how much sacral energy you are being involved with. And here's a really important boundary and standard that you can set regarding invitations for the holiday season. This is around time. How long are you spending at these events, and how many events are you trying to crush into one day? I know this happens. You've kind of got lunch with this section of the family, you've got dinner with this section of the family, and then there might be, you know, some extra invitation that comes with just some mates or something afterwards, catching up with some friends. It can get so hectic. So really be very, very disciplined, and your boundaries aren't so much what you're telling other people they kind of need to respect regarding you. Your boundaries are what you set for yourself. It's up to you to set those boundaries and contain those boundaries. So that might be even saying in advance, if there's a particular family event that you are just dreading in your heart of hearts, but it's an obligation, you have to go. If you could choose not to, you wouldn't, but you have to be there. Put a time limit on it. Create an artificial excuse. It's not lying, it's actually protecting your loved ones from the bitterness of projector disappointment and drainage. When a bitter projector is sitting in the room, they will infect all of the sacral frustration. They'll completely override it. One bitter projector sitting in a room will be so palpable. So don't do that to your loved ones, don't do it to yourself. And every projector, if you don't yet know that taste, that sensation, that aroma of your bitterness, just start tuning into that when it's around and going, okay, that's my signpost. I need to re-navigate, get out of here, decompress, detox, make sure that I'm kind of purifying my vehicle so I can get back into projector alignment, which is success. That is our signature. So with all of these aspects put together, we want to make sure that we are nourishing the projector vehicle as much as we can from an energy input and an energy output standpoint. Really think about that. The final piece that I want to give you is a little bit more advanced mechanics for projectors. This is advanced mechanics for every type, but in particular for projectors. And this is going over to the primary health system aspects of the human design body graph. It lives within the design side, the unconscious side, and this is our environment or our external determination. Now, we all have a human design environment. You may already know what yours is. Maybe yours is mountains, maybe yours is shores, maybe yours is caves. I'm not talking so much about the type of environment here. I want you to have a look at the arrow that is associated with your external determination, your environment. That arrow is either going to be facing left. This always gets mirrored the wrong way. It's going to face left or it's going to face right. If your arrow is facing left, you are naturally designed, even as a projector, to be observed, meaning more active in your environment. It is natural and you are supported in actually being active within your environment. If you have a right-facing arrow, you are naturally designed to be the observer. And that means you are the one sitting back watching the action. You are the natural wallflower. You are actually going to take more in and be of more value from that stance than being in there doing all the stuff with everybody else. So it's a really interesting point, because otherwise we get told incorrectly that projectors aren't here to be active. We're all sort of supposed to be passive, and there are absolute nuances in that, and the environment is a particular one. So check out those arrows, see if you are kind of meant to be in there helping prepare the lunch, or you're meant to be the one sitting at the kitchen island just sipping on a low alcoholic drink and just observing and then watching, and then maybe giving some value to some important humans later when you're invited and when you're recognized. So these are some great, simple, practical tips. If you want the replay to this little survival kit that I've just put together here on this live, please DM me replay. This is not going to be sitting on my feed. This is for a special group of projectors that really wanted this information, and they will get ongoing access to it where it's uploaded on a private channel within my YouTube. So if you want access to this, if you want to share it, if you want to be able to watch it again, then please DM me replay. Thank you for those that jumped on live. You are very lucky to be here. I went with my emotional authority today and decided that I was just going to jump on when it felt right, which is why the replay access is super important. And that's it. Have an amazing Christmas, and yeah, stay tuned. More to come. I just want to say a final note. I really love this Christmas tree. I thought it's perfect for projector content because instead of having a star or an angel on the top, it's got a top hat. Make sure that you keep that top hat on your head. Don't overthink stuff. Don't let all of that projected juice run out over the festive season, offering your voice, offering your opinions where it hasn't been asked for. You're wasting your energy. Thank you for those that were here. Sending so much love to you. Ciao and Merry Christmas.